Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the legendary podcast known as Touch the City. I am Fax Mercury, aka World Star Platinum. Big JoJo's reference. We out here, and I am joined here by the illustrious. Is that a velour durag?
You already know, man. I had to back out the velvet on him. You already know. You already
The
know, man.
velour durag. That's
You already know what I'm saying. You already know that velour. You know what I'm saying? Just let him feel it a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean?
Velour Lord.
Nice and soft. You know what I mean? Just keep it nice and, spice it up for the podcast a little bit. Burgundy, you know what I'm saying? A little velour velvet type shit. You know what I mean? Just gotta keep it lavish. You know what I mean? You gotta be lavish. Nah, we chilling, though. We chilling, bro.
The velour Lord, yo.
Velour Lord, bro. Nah, we just here, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, the hair, I mean, it's so crazy because I don't even have any reason. I got like the fresh lineup and everything under it, but I don't know. Like, this shit is just really a vibe. I be sitting in front of the computer all the time. I just have it over my head. Like, it was good, though. It was good.
How was your week?
Oh, man, just been chilling, man. Just, just low key, man. I honestly haven't been doing much at all. Like, I mean, now that things are starting to open back up, of course, things were back in full swing, I feel like work has been kicking up like crazy. So overall, like my sentiment has just been, you go home, you chill out, or at least no, you work from home after the fact that you're done working from home and you poop, you're tired. So what do? You go lay your ass down and if you fucking fall asleep, you play your video games and that's it. Like I honestly haven't even been outside to clean my car, I think in over a month. Like and that's really just speaks to like how low key I've been. I honestly haven't been doing much. I'm trying to like get back up into the swing of doing things, because I always say like when times like this or periods like this in general occurs because of the fact that like, I might not inherently see it, but I probably am suffering from some like mild, like immediate depression of some sort where I'm not doing anything. You know what I mean? But I mean, it is what it is. I think it's a lot of shit to be depressed about. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy.
This is a tough week, so yeah, I totally get it.
Nah, but yeah, I'm trying to definitely make the best of it though. I mean, shit, we chilled this weekend, so that was pretty cool. We kicked back. What else I did? I mean, I got to play Warzone, even though I play video games. I don't play Warzone every day. Like I know, that's the one game I talk about on here. Like when I actually get to play Warzone, though, it's a serious occasion. You know what I'm saying? You got to sit down, get the headset on, you got the squad with you. It's kind of like when the homies get together for real. So like, you sit down, you play Warzone, late nights with the bros. That was cool. I got to get a couple of those games in. I think one dinner this whole week though. Mine has been trash. So yeah, that's been it though, man. I haven't been doing shit, man. I don't want to bore you guys or my bro Justice. So what you been up to, man? I don't know. How's your week been?
It was an up and down week. So much shit went down that just really affected my mental, and I was just finding ways to really I guess like not harden myself, but just internally again, just work to see like, okay, like I know it's easy for me to fall in this hole, but like I have to find some other lesson through these bad things rather than the basic one I resort to, which is just usually like, oh, I'm just so done with everything. I got to find some other way to like, keep moving forward. Because I know I'm prone to like something tragic happens and like I shut down for a good amount of time. So I'm learning to work on getting out of that rut faster. So,
I mean, that's good. It's healthy, honestly. I mean, you not only like what you just said, I kind of like hinted to that too. Like, it puts you in just this mood of where it's just like you look at what's going on and you just like, it's almost like, I mean, at least for me, I could explain it at least what it feels like for me. I see what's going on. While it might not bother me at first, it's kind of one of those things where it's just like, the seriousness of what you just absorbed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, obviously so much of it happens nowadays. You feel like you're desensitized, but the gravity of what it is you just absorb. You're going outside, you looking at other people in the face that is just kind of like they act like it didn't happen, or you see people online, they continue on with their life like it didn't happen. And it's just kind of like, yo, like this is just so fake. Like, how are y'all not mad about the stuff that I'm mad at? Or how y'all not obsessed with it? You know what I'm saying? Like to me, it's just such a hard thing to do. Like to just get yourself together, address the things that you still have going on in life, whether it's professionally, personally, your relationships. Like those things are so important. actually, it's so funny how we get to these conversations. This is a great conversation because today I
Yeah.
was talking to Shy about that shit. And I don't know how we got into the conversation. But we got into profession, the idea of like, where are you at in your job? I don't know who I or what I saw, but I wasn't feeling down on myself, but I kind of was just like, yo, maybe I need to like consider picking up a new profession, a new skill, trying to do something like to make more money. Unfortunately, like,
Yeah.
that's what I do when I'm bored in life and I feel like, yo, I don't know what else to do. Let me figure out how to make more money and do something with my life and maybe make my experience better. Like I don't gotta stress as much. So we're talking about that shit, and like you just kind of like just have to sit back and realize, like, what I'm saying, like you have to give yourself a pass. You have to give yourself a pass. You have to give yourself a break mentally and just realistically, given what's going on. Like everybody that's going on and doing what they want and locking in to do. And I feel like it's so funny. I feel like we talked about this kind of last week or the week before, but it's realistically something that you have to continue to remind yourself. Give yourself that break. Understand the gravity of your situation. Understand that, like, yeah, you can continue to progress. You can continue to do other things, but understand that, yeah, when you absorb some of the traumatic experiences that you're seeing on a daily basis, it's gonna make you not want to necessarily go learn your new technical programming skill to go learn work for some white man that don't give a fuck about you. Like that's just realistically like how I feel about it. That's how I
Hmm.
understand it. It's gonna make you not want to run immediately back to your work organization that just doesn't give a fuck about Black lives. They didn't say no shit about Black Lives Matter. They didn't give a fuck about
Hmm.
Black lives or
Yeah.
anything that's going on in your day. Like, that's just realistically how you're gonna behave. So um I found myself like a little hard on myself, and I was chopping it up with wifey, and she kind of just reminded me that, but say, when you're comfortable, you're gonna get back up and do what you need to do, but also overall, having these moments of reflection to be able to acknowledge what's going on, yeah, you might feel about it, but being able to then correct your mindset and say, yo, you know what, this is what's going on, this is what I'm gonna do, and this is how I'm gonna respond to it, and just setting your plan and stick to it. You could live with that. You don't have to like kill yourself or like yeah, you don't have to like be extremely hard on the fact that it does set you back, I guess, or it does make you sit down and say, yo, you know what, I need a couple of days. That's what the NBA did, right? I mean, shit.
Yeah.
I guess that's a good way to segue into that bullshit. I mean, they took the boycott. The NBA did the boycott. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And like, they came back to playing. Now, I mean, there's a conversation obviously about that in general. I mean, you boycott, then you went back to playing. But like when you just look at it and compare that and parallel it to what we're talking about, I mean, you need that decompression. You can't have the Milwaukee Bucks who are in the city of Milwaukee where these motherfuckers less than what is it, 50, not even 50 miles from their city. The
Yeah.
motherfucker Jacob
Kenosha.
Blake, yeah, Kenosha, Wisconsin, Jacob Blake getting shot. Um, like I mean, like, what do you think is gonna happen? Like, you think that people from that same city, from that same town, they're gonna want to just get up and play for your city or play for your town, play for your fans? Nah, the fans don't need to be seeing what's going on in the league right now. They don't need to see what's going on in the playoffs. They don't need to see that. What they need to, unfortunately, realize and address and face is the fact that this is what's going on in your streets. This is what's going on in your neighborhoods. Your black players and athletes, your black fans, your black friends, your family, they're upset. They outraged. They're tired of feeling like there's a target on their back. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not going to bed at night and waking up in the morning thinking about what's going on in the playoffs. No, they hurt at what's going on with Jacob Blake. So like, the idea of just taking your like a moment out, giving yourself a moment to breathe, decompressing, but then allowing like yourself the grounds to say, okay, you know what, this is how we can address it and come back. I commend everybody for doing that, and I mean, shit. That that's like I said, the NBA did that shit, and I mean, they come back, they have a better plan, they have a modes of attack or a means to how they want to address things now. Shit, look at me. I said, look, all right, this is how I'm gonna want to address my life, or even if I do want to pick up the skill, at least I feel like okay, it's on my terms. I'm still allowing myself time to just mentally break down and accept everything that goes on around me. And I just feel like that stuff is important. It's a little bit of a lost element, at least in the coronavirus era, I guess is what we're going to call it.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, you have to just always consider that, like, well, yeah, you just have to be able to consider now that, like, we're just at a point really where people are beyond fed up. So normally, people would have a moment of reflection and then just keep it pushing. But now this shit is happening, and there's so many things that are happening simultaneously. Everybody's so stressed the fuck out. It's so compounded that now anytime another thing happens, you're like, I can't believe something else happened.
Mhm.
You know, it adds more stress. So now people are going to react even crazier. So the NBA people are fed the fuck up. They're like, yo, straight up, I'm not playing basketball today. Like, y'all are out of your fucking minds if you think throughout all that shit.
You're gonna send me in
And,
the
you know,
fucking
you
Super
hear
Bowl.
these stupid fucking critiques of these players by saying, oh, you know, you guys get paid millions of dollars. Like, what are you doing? And, you know, I blame mostly the wording around that for them saying boycott when it was actually a strike. Strike would be a more apropos word to describe what they did, because they, you know, as a union, they stopped working for that day. That's not boycotting. Boycotting is you would stop buying a product or something like that. That's boycotting. So first of all, it was a strike. And so what they were doing was basically, as a union, saying, listen, we're all grieving, we're not going to work. Right? If you're grieving, that's you not going to work. You do take the day and you not going to work. So they said, listen, you are not forcing us to work on this day. And people are sitting here saying they wouldn't do the same thing. You know, they're trying to call these NBA players privileged. Like, that's not a, you know, that they
It's not
actually
a
have the
natural
ability to
reaction.
do that.
Like,
There's still a workforce. Listen, no matter how much they get paid, it's still a job. They still, you know, everybody should be entitled to these job benefits, and they have a union, so they should be doing what the union, and, you know, they don't want that shit to end up like the NFL. Shit, where players got shit and they just subjected to the wills of the owners and the team. So, but yeah, so salute to the NBA for deciding to do that, or at least the players, because not really the NBA. And I honestly, that was like the NBA. If they really, they had to have known, like, there's no way you can sit there and just say no to that, because that would invalidate everything you've done up until this point.
Yeah.
Like, in, you know, the NBA's image from that standpoint, like, you have to listen to your players.
No, that's a fact. I agree, actually. And I mean,
the players.
What do you say to those critics though, or those like I guess you would say those devil advocates that are saying, okay, now that they did that, they came back. Like, what was it all for nothing? Because now if anybody gets shot, do you think that every single time now they feel like they should stop? I mean, me in my person, I guess I'll just answer that real quick. I think that, yeah, like, motherfucker, if they feel like that day or that week they don't feel like playing, then they have the right to. They absolutely have the right to feel enraged.
What's the why is that a negative? Oh, so they're supposed to do it every time if they want to? Why not?
What? Yeah, sure.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Continue to exercise your right. You are a union. You have the ability to do that.
Yep.
I was in a union, and motherfuckers did that. You exercise your right as a union because these companies, no matter who you are, don't give a shit about you.
Mm-hmm. No,
so you're not going to go and be like, you're going to force me to work when in this time that I am unable to work. I'm sorry, but I am 100% incapable of working. And people are sitting there complaining about exercising their right. Sorry, you got some fucking job that don't allow you to give you the time. And unfortunately, that's a lot of people's jobs that you just, you know, they don't give you that right, but they have that right and they're exercising that right. That's the whole benefit of that. Unfortunately, you know, companies have tried to stomp out unions, but that's what they're doing. So by all means, continue to exercise that fucking right. That's what it comes to me. That's what it comes down to. It's a matter of labor and workforce. So
no, I bet. No, and that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, like, a lot of people need to just remember that, you know, unfortunately, you know, and I mean, that's a greater conversation, you know, the idea that the establishment just holds all the power. People just like have this idea that we just can't do like what we want this naturally in this country, like that we aren't the cogs that continue to move the economy, but the cogs that continue to move society and everything. Like, look, if you need your break, if you need your moment to take a break, like, you should be able to do that. And like, the fact that y'all on some bootlegger shit is always talking about, like, yo,
licking
not
the
like,
boots.
like, what are you talking about?
This country has primed you, has brainwashed you to lick the boots.
Sad.
That's why the American dream, they want you to lick these boots of these CEOs, of these authority figures or authority-like figures, and sell you this dream that because they're so famous, that means they're better than you.
Yeah,
Like you have to submit to their fucking will or something, or anything that comes
yeah.
out of their mouth. Like, yes, they were successful, but they're still a human being, just like me and you.
Mm-hmm.
And more often than not, them getting all that money means somebody else is not getting that money.
Facts. And like,
That's what it comes down to.
and like I just feel like, a lot of that stuff is lost. That's lost in the I guess the fucking the translations. It's just lost in the translations of society. Just what's going on. A lot of people just forgetting that, like you should care about yourself first. It shouldn't be about these billionaires. It shouldn't be about the entertainment of X, Y, and Z. Them being on like, that's why like black people, they didn't care. Nobody was talking about, they just needed to play, or, go back to work this or X, Y, and Z. That, like, no, I'm not talking about none of that. To me, let's get our frustrations out. Let's protest in these streets. Let's boycott if we want to. Let's not. Let's turn this whole system upside down. I'm a believer of throw the whole thing out. I don't really believe there's a way to continue to move forward. I mean, obviously, I'm gonna do the team player thing. Kind of like Milwaukee. You know what I'm saying? They boycotted LeBron. I'm pretty sure LeBron didn't want to boycott. He obviously has a more than a vote, or more than a vote initiative, and he wanted to continue playing because he feels like, yo, look, my power comes with my ability to be on the court. Like my visibility, my celebrity, my fame is allows me to do that. But similar to what he did, I'm still gonna go with at least the majority of the masses, because I understand, look, change is for the greater good. Unless it's just some bullshit that just don't make sense. I would not, like, I'm gonna always still support my brother the same way he did that. And like that's just what we need to do as a society. Continue to support each other, because that's the only thing that's gonna like create change. It's only gonna bring change if enough people are doing it. And I don't know. I guess I don't know. That's a little bit. That's enough on that NBA boycott. We could get into the actual return into the NBA. I mean, the NBA playoffs has been an absolute blast off. I mean, shit. This fucking series, I mean, with the Clippers and the Mavs, my boy Kawhi went off, came through.
Yeah.
A lot of people didn't even notice. I mean, my boy was like quietly averaging like, I think it was like 33, 12, like 15 and like 10 or 7 or 8 or some shit like that on 50 something.
He's at that level.
Yeah, he's at that level, man. Like I feel like people don't give him enough respect. Like I feel like people respect Kawhi, but at the same time, it's like y'all really want this. Like I mean, or maybe it's the fun. He's not flashy. I think
he's got the Tim Duncan thing.
Yeah,
they're not flashy, so people forget. Tim Duncan was underrated for his entire fucking career.
He's another one that is just so.
We're talking about like legitimately the best at his position.
It's legitimately the best at his position. Top 5. I mean, I think he finished the MVP voting. Like his second year, he was top 5 MVP voting. I mean, we're talking about somebody that is just phenomenally underrated. I mean, I guess I could see the parallels. Kawhi, I think he's continually grown from it. Like, I think even it was right after he closed out the Mavs, I was watching his post game, and I was just comparing it to like young Kawhi in San Antonio. I was like, yeah, wow, this dude did change. Like, you could tell like San Antonio was good for him, but at the same time, it wasn't necessarily him. Like Kawhi is more of like Southern Cal, West Coast, laid back, San Diego. Don't bother me. And I'm saying he don't want no like nothing. Like he's just chilling. He's low key. So you confuse that for like some San Antonio, Texas type vibe. Like he's in the South, out in the field. You know what I'm saying? Like don't bother me type shit. But at the same time, like nah, he's a West Coast dude. And I think that's just what really he needed to do. He needed to get out. He needed to be in that Clippers uniform. Really experience what it's like to lead a team. And I mean, it's just been great for him. I mean, I was looking up his numbers dating back to like the Memphis series in 2017. And like, that was like the first time I knew it. I was like, yo, like Kawhi is going to be able to win a championship on his own one day. He's going to be able to prove people like that this dude could be one of the most dominant players in the league. Like he's so consistent. He likes to get to his spots on the floor. Floater game, immaculate. Mid-range game. I mean, he can post fade. He can post, he can spot up in your face. 3-pointer.
Sorry, that's baby Jordan. I just see him play, and he just looks like young Michael Jordan. Only in how he operates in the mid range.
Yeah, it's just so
for some reason
like,
just reminds me of Michael Jordan. I don't know why.
It's so smooth, and it's because it's like he's so paced. I guess that's like the exact word I want to use. His pacing and his ability to just slow down and use his pace to dominate the game is like Jordan. Like Jordan was flashy, obviously, fast, athletic, could finish over anybody, inside, outside game. Wasn't the greatest outside shooter, but he could shoot it. like the reason why Jordan was so dominant though is because he knew how to use his space to like and abuse it against people. Like it would look like he's moving slow, but then the next thing you know, he can turn on his speed and then he's gliding in the air and his hang time is so immaculately longer than everybody else's that he makes it look crazy. Kawhi had this one play during the game where it's like I forgot who he was posting up. I think he was posting up. Might have been Trey Burke or something stupid like that. Somebody was smaller on him, so he posted him up.
Yeah.
Next, thing you know, he took him to like I would say foul line. He did like a I don't even know what the fucking move is called, but pretty much he did a floater, but he one hand palmed the ball and like hung in the air and shot it like that, like one arm floater, and it just was perfect, son. I was like, yo, nah, that's like an MJ move, bro. Like that's Michael Jordan right there. And it's like, man, I'm a Kawhi fan. I can't wait to like at least the conference finals. I want to see obviously the Clippers. Hopefully my team makes it through. They go ahead and square up against the Lakers. That would be a series for the ages. Cannot wait, man. I can't wait for that. But I mean,
what do you think of the Clippers and Mavs was great. Yeah,
that boy
Kawhi was
Luka.
fantastic. As the Clippers are fine as long as I think the duo of Kawhi and PG on its best day, you really are in, and they're a tier below. I think LeBron and AD on their best day, but I still think like they can carry a team good enough. You know, not too many
Yeah,
people need to show up after that. But if one of them falls off, then I mean, I apparently Luka was at that level.
yeah,
Like seeing it this series, just see like, yo, if PG is not stepping up, Luka is frying, and
yeah.
it's
I think
crazy.
it's tough. I mean, you know, it's so tough with this Luka series. I mean, you know, I definitely want to give him all the credit in the world. I honestly think Luka was just cooking him. There's not really
He's
much
just
else that I
cooking.
could say. Yeah,
I
you know,
just can't
anything
believe
else
he's
sounds
at that
ridiculous.
level already to just be cooking at the level he's cooking at.
I think you know, and that's a great statement and like kind of like a question and just assessment of the game. I feel like a lot of people forget, man, offensively, do you know how hard it is to stay in front of any of these NBA players? Do you know how hard it is to stay in front of anybody in the modern NBA offense? It's like people think just because Paul George and Kawhi was on the team that Luka was not supposed to score over 15 points a game. I just don't think that anybody truly watches basketball because anybody that truly watches basketball knows that look, the NBA favors offense. It favors offense. It favors the point guard, the shooting guard that handles the rock, that can attack the rim. You can't touch him. There's no like there's all the rules and regulations like as to why Luka could be dominant. Look at LeBron James. Luka is literally LeBron just less athletic and white. So like when you look at their games though, like their ability to see the entire court, they can both attack the paint, they dish things out, they finish like at the rim.
Better 3-point shooter
Yeah,
from the
yeah.
jump though. That's the only
Luca,
thing.
yeah. Like right now, yeah. Actually, I don't even know, man, because Luca was shooting like I think 30% for the season or something like that. Like his 3-point shot is not like a lot of people. Like even me, I was shocked. Like you know, he was hitting a lot of
Yeah.
crazy like step back threes and doing all these crazy types of shots. But at the same time, like he was like having some moments where he just couldn't buy a three. And then like when you would look at his averages, like his numbers just wasn't there. But I mean, I know him to be a dominant all around player. Like he can shoot the three, he can shoot the mid range, he can finish at the rim. At this point in his career, yes, he's superior to LeBron from three. Um, but I think like you know like yeah, there was just too much credit given to like I guess Kawhi and Paul George's like ability to defend where they needed to stop Luca. Luca is an all-time talent. Like he's an all-time great type talent. Arguably is going to be in a Hall of Fame if he as long as he continues his career averages. Like he's going to be in the Hall of Fame. He's going to arguably finish as the greatest European player ever without question. Like when you consider all these things, I mean, like, was it not supposed to be a hard fought game? And I mean, Paul George is Paul George, but people forget. I mean, the dude broke his leg, bro. Like he snapped his leg in half.
Yeah.
Like I mean, yeah. I mean, regardless of whatever, like, yeah, like how cocky he might have been,
He's a
I don't know.
considerable
Yeah,
a step slower than he
yeah.
used to be.
Like give the dude, and I mean, you know, you start to beat on the dude and like badger him and anxiety. Like that shit is a fact. Like he said it. Like, but I'm not gonna lie. A lot of people was trying to be hard on him for saying that. I didn't see it, but you know, I don't want to get too into like the Clippers personally, at least on that level. I mean, I definitely seen like the potential, at least in that matchup, the duos. I think AD and LeBron are the superior duo. From the standpoint of that, LeBron is gonna LeBron, And if he has an off night, it's very, very rare. But when he does have an off night, it's like, damn, like, he
Yeah,
definitely
it's
looks his age.
bad.
It's weird. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like he really looks his age. But when he's on, and AD, like, I think is pretty considerably consistent as well. Like, I don't see him ever having an off night. Paul George can't do what he did in this series at all versus the Lakers. And I think, a lot of people give a little bit too much credit to, or aren't giving enough credit to the matchup, to the series. Paul George is never going to have to face an offense like that again. Like when you're having to chase that type of offense on nonstop all the time, defend such a great offensive team, people forget they had the number one offensive rating in NBA history. By metrics, they are the best NBA offense ever. Listen to that. Ever, 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 ever. So when you're considering that, and then you have two great wing defenders that have to chase around the greatest offense ever. Of course, defensively, they're not going to stop that. Like, even if you do have them off of their season averages, they're not going to be able to hold that to under 100 and then still put up 40 points per game on the other end of the floor. It's just not going to happen. And I'm not sitting here saying like Paul George was stopping Luka. Obviously, he was chasing him around trying to stop him, but he was getting cooked. So imagine chasing somebody around, getting cooked, and then having to go score. Like, I'm not afraid of that because Danny Green's not going to give him that issues. KCP can't give him those issues. Nobody on the Lakers can give him those issues outside of AD and LeBron James. Like, you're not going to give him any offensive issues. So to me, it's just such a different series. Like when you don't have to worry about that, and then you can just go offense, 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 and like you or you could even cause defensive stops like on a Danny Green, on a KCP, on a Kyle Kuzma, force them into errors, make them drop the ball, make them turn it over, and then you can turn that into. It's going to be completely different offenses. Series. That's why I say, the Clippers honestly faced the best offense that they could have and beat it because now they can beat everybody else's offense. They really can. Like they really can beat everybody else's offense that they're going to match up with. So it should be interesting. Like they like we just gotta wait and see. Because the Lakers, they fucking gentlemen swept the Blazers. I don't really feel like that was a test. The Rockets, I think, is going to be a legitimate test if they get past your OKC Thunder.
Maybe.
What do you think?
Listen, those two teams, it's just really a matter of shooting.
Mm-hmm.
It just comes down to shooting.
I agree.
And also, I don't know if Shai is technically, not technically, I don't even know if he's ready for this moment yet.
Yeah.
Like for the playoffs, like he looks a little bit like he's playing pretty well, but like I don't think he realized like he's just doesn't realize like playoff basketball is different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he's not like super ready from the standpoint of like he's leaving his imprint on the game, because I feel like there's just a certain hunger that you got to just come with for the playoffs. Like I don't, and I guess it comes from like the little bit of 90s and early decade basketball that I watched. You've seen a young Kobe or a young Tim Duncan, young Tracy McGrady, Vince Carter in his prime. These young greats, all the greats that we know, like, and they were like 22, 23, 24, 30 points per game, 10 assists, 15, you know what I'm saying? Like scoring what Luka did, you know what I'm saying? We saw that consistently from these young phenoms, these young great players that were coming from college. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know much about Shai. I know Shai was popping off on the Clippers before he went to OKC. So I know him to be a great guard, but I just, like that hunger of, I want to be better than every fucking player on the other side of the court. Like I want to give him 30. I want to give him 40 every night. They don't have that energy. They don't have that hunger. They don't have that ambition. I don't see it. And like it, to me, it's the thing of like, where he's attacking the rim 100 times a game or shooting 100 times a game. It's just trying to put it like, what I'm saying? Trying to will his team and leave his imprint on the game where it's needed. Like, the game has become so overly analytical. I feel like I don't want to speak to Shai's tendencies himself. I feel like, you miss 3-4 shots in a row, coach might bench you. You know what I'm saying? That's how he's feeling rather than now, like that's showing my aggression. Like, sometimes, you just got to turn that factor on. I feel like the Houston Rockets, especially without Russell Westbrook at that moment in time, like it could have been something that you guys could have taken advantage of. But I don't know. I know Houston is choked. So, you guys have a chance, man. Like, to kind of turn this thing around,
the last game, it was just, they could not miss. And we missed historical amount of 3-pointers.
Mm-hmm.
I think we missed like 40-something 3-pointers.
Jesus Christ. Like sounds worse than Houston. What is it?
Yeah, I think that's the new record. So it what do you do with that? A historically bad night.
He's still here. Shots not falling.
So, right. So we should be able to compete. I think, or at least take him to 7.
Nah, yeah, for sure. I think that's definitely going to be a series that continues on. You know, you got the Nuggets and Jazz. I mean, Mitchell and Murray. I'm not even going to go too in depth there, man. If you've been missing that show, that's just like anyway. If y'all
That
haven't
shit
been tuned in, that's
incredible.
just crazy. I mean, Jamal
Shards.
Murray,
That's
50
all
point,
time. This
50
is like an
point.
all-time rivals battle. This
Yeah,
is
this is
crazy.
crazy. I mean, Mitchell had 57, 44, 50. Murray had 50. Right? No, I think he dropped 45, 50, and 50. Like literally like that.
His shooting splits are like 70 and 70.
Yeah, he's shooting like
Like, how are you
60.
shooting
He's shooting like
70%
60.
from three?
It's
Like, what
crazy,
the
bro.
fuck?
I think yeah, what is he? Is he shooting 100% from the free throw line or something crazy
Some
like
shit
that?
like that. And it's
Yeah.
wild. Like, I know he was nice, but what the fuck is this?
Nah, it's
Like, this
crazy,
is
bro.
crazy. And like, I find it hilarious when you just think about the fact that these are two small market teams.
Mhm.
And so just like the idea of parity and shit like that, like, wow, for once, that's a hell of a battle going on in Denver
Mhm.
and Utah of all fucking places.
All
So
fucking places. It's crazy. Nah, yeah.
shit, when was the last time Utah was exciting? Fucking Deron
Shit.
Williams?
Teron Williams. Trying to think who else was on the team. What's his name?
Was Millsap?
Paul Millsap was on. Was he on that team yet? Wait, no. Millsap. I know him. I know he was on the Atlanta Hawks. I don't think he was on the Nuggets yet. I know who was on there, but I just can't. His name is not coming to my mind. He was a big man though. He was a dominant big man though. I do remember
Al
who.
Jefferson?
Not Al Jefferson. I think he was on there, but it's actually the scoring big man, not Al Jefferson. I don't even remember his name though. I can't even think about it. I know it's gonna come to mind, but he was a pretty good big man. And like I forgot what team he went to, but he was actually a part of a trade. He might even still be there actually, just riding the
No,
pine.
Millsap was there. And Carlos Boozer,
Yeah,
Kyle Korver,
yeah.
CJ Miles, AK.
What's the boy's
Yeah, I
name?
think that was 2007, 2008.
Yeah, I mean maybe you might you might be right. Maybe he was there. I'm
I'm
actually thinking.
looking it
I'm
right
thinking
now.
like maybe like 2011, 2012 ish type. I remember the Utah Jazz. They had the big man that was like pretty decent, and they used to play like that 2-man game inside out. Like he was really their
Yeah.
main option. I don't remember his name. I don't want to leave it.
But yeah, so hell of a series to be
Nah.
watching,
Yeah, hell of a series to be
honestly.
watching. NBA playoffs is just been popping off overall. So man, shout out to
And
NBA,
then
man.
yeah, shout out NBA. And the East was Milwaukee Bucks is I don't know. I mean the Milwaukee Bucks, Milwaukee Orlando. That's just a
Mm.
weird.
Yeah,
That was
it's just
wait no. They no yeah they
Milwaukee beat Orlando, and now they
yeah.
playing the Heat. I think actually the
Right.
first game is tonight. I think the game is actually on while we're recording. Like I haven't even.
That's
That's
a
gonna be
good
a good
match, I
series.
think. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure actually right now. What am I looking at? I seen that it was around 60 something headed into the third. It's the fourth quarter right now. It looks like the Heat is up. Heat is up at the moment. So that's pretty good. I mean, yo, look, man. I think the Heat can beat the Bucks. So I mean, that's one of those series that they gotta like, watch out. I don't know, man. Giannis, he lose another one, he gotta leave Milwaukee. Unless he's gonna be on his Dame shit and not win a title, because that's probably what's gonna happen to Dame too. This is like if
Yeah.
you want a title and you want to finish with the echelons of one of the top 5 players to ever play the game, he gotta leave Milwaukee. I just don't see him
Yeah.
doing it though. Like,
I don't know. I've been here like, you hear a little hearsays and shit like that. But
yeah,
who
I
else?
mean,
What's the other
possibly.
what's the other series? It's
The
Boston,
other series in
Toronto,
the
right?
East, you got Boston, Toronto. Boston took care of Toronto that game one. That was like crazy. They spanked the hell out of them, if I'm not mistaken, right? Boston. Yeah, they beat. I'm pretty sure they beat them game one. They beat them by like 20. Yep. So I mean, yeah, Boston, Toronto. That's going to be another series. That's just like Toronto's just going to have to prove. Like, do you guys really have the heart of a champion? Siakam, are you really who they say you are? Fred VanVleet, are you really who they say you are? Kyle Lowry, are you washed or are you washed? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know which one Kyle Lowry. I know him to be a good backup guard now. I mean, he could still start. Obviously, he has championship like tendencies, but his skill to me always still screams, all right, backup guard, because like he's just not dominant where like I see him going the hell off. But to me, that speaks to Kyle Lowry's actual impact on games. I feel like quietly, even during the regular season, he's quietly averaged 19-8. No, yeah, 19-8-5. And for you average 19 to 20 points per game in the NBA, man, that means you had a couple of 30-point games, a couple of 40-point games. Like you probably had a couple of those odd high scoring games to get that type of average. And yeah, like Kyle Lowry, I feel like he's just a guard that he's just gonna have to prove himself at least in this series. No DeMar there. There's no Kawhi. You have Siakam, you have Fred VanVleet, and Cole. Gasol, Serge. So they still have a good team, but can you get over the hump? That's gonna be interesting to see as well. But I don't even know, man. I think with the NBA, I'm just ready for the finals. I'm ready for the finals. Unfortunately, at this point, I'm definitely back in that mode. The finals,
I need
the
some
Western
conference finals. I
and then
think this is going to be crazy conference finals.
Yeah, like and that's actually the finals I was hinting at. I need the Western Conference Finals first, that finals, and that's the final. Anybody who watching me, you'll be like, the finals is the Western Conference Finals, and then the Eastern Conference Finals. I mean, the Eastern Conference, you pay their team, and then that's the finals. But the real finals is just who's coming out of the West, and I actually don't know, man. I don't know who's gonna come out the West, man. I hope it's my Clips, man. I really do. I really hope my team can make it through this year. And they're not even my team though. I'm a Kawhi fan. Everybody who knows, they just know me to be a Kawhi fan. It's not that I'm like a stan of the Clippers or anything like that. I feel like a lot of people get that misconstrued. I'm just a Kawhi guy. Like that's really why we here. Fucking
Shit.
But nah, yeah. So other than that, man, NBA playoffs has been a delight. As far as what's going on, at least in the world, man. I mean, I know everybody has been looking outside. Everybody has, at least opened their eyes to what's going on in the world. Kyle fucking Rittenhouse. I mean, I know I didn't even get to mention it. I know we talked about a little bit of the stoppage, but the stoppage and then the reopening of the NBA, that was in response to the shooting of Jacob Blake, obviously in Wisconsin. We did mention in Milwaukee, we mentioned that, but like this Kyle Rittenhouse dude, like I don't know if we talked about this last week, but this motherfucker, 17 years old, not licensed to carry, a white teenager. I mean, he literally just crosses from, I think it was Illinois or some shit like that. I don't even care about the details. He was in state illegal, crossed into another state, illegally carrying, starts firing amongst people in the crowd. I don't even know where to go with this, bro. What do I address? What do I got here? I got the Twitter trolls on my screen, or just the reality of the situation. Like, the reality of the situation is that not only do the cops not care, people don't care. You got Twitter trolls in those threads talking about, yo, well, it was self-defense, and first we didn't see this hand things and that. Similar to how you feel like you got the Chinese bots on Twitter in response to the NBA outrage at that one point in time. I feel like we have that now for any black outrage or Black Lives Matter related racism related event. You're just gonna get these generic accounts, or I would pray they're generic accounts, saying the exact same thing. Like they be all saying it, and it's like people give that thing energy and give that shit, so much like fuel. It'll make your blood boil. Like I don't even know how you feel about this, but like the reality of the situation is, I mean, I just don't see how we get back to anything. I don't know how we get back to any type of norm.
There is no normal. It's just, we're stuck in the cycle now. We're just going to continue to have these events, and it's going to continue to be met with the same, redundant points against it, and that's all it's ever going to be, unless we have to make, take serious action.
Yeah, like
it's
I
very
mean,
clear, leaving it up to the devices as we know them now to be. That's why we're still here dealing with the same things motherfuckers have been dealing with for X amount of years at this point. None of this is new. Again, just another reminder. Shit happening this year is not the first time these things have happened.
Like my thing is just like, all right, the reality of the situation is okay. It occurred. He killed these guys. We have all the facts. Like realistically, I mean, like we have the Twitter trolls telling us these things. They're trying to get our responses, and then like, are we realistically supposed to just put our heads down and just continue going back to work and act like that shit didn't happen? Like that we didn't just watch a dude kill somebody in the streets, not supposed to have a gun, and then they're still gonna defend it somehow and make it where he gets off easy. Like, are we realistically supposed to just kind of head down and just get back to the reality of life?
That's what they want you to do because that's what they do. They don't give a shit about anything that's going on.
I just don't. I really, man, like when I'm telling you, like it kind of has me stumped to the point where it's like mentally right now, I can't believe that this is what they really expect. Like they really expect this to happen. Like how are we supposed to shut the fuck up about this? How are we supposed to just get back to normal? Like the people that aren't outraged about this or aren't saying things like what, like I hate that life is at pretty much at this point. Like that they have us where it's like, yo, like you can't get out and vote this out. You can't vote nothing like that out. You can't vote that out. What are you gonna? You can vote out somebody that like the didn't the police chief get on fucking podium and say that he didn't even watch the video,
Mm-hmm.
and he was saying like, oh well, this is what happens when people are out past curfew. Didn't he say that shit?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Are we really supposed to be able to vote something like that out? Like I just don't understand. Like this is just the scariest thing. Like I don't see enough people. I feel like I don't see enough people talk about how scary this shit is. This is scary.
That's like these are. I know it sounds crazy. Those are radical ideas. Now you're starting to see that that's it. This shit is just. You realize like it literally has to all go. It has to all go because we're seeing people who haven't seen. We're seeing all at the same time the cracks within every system around us and how disparaging it is to black and brown and non-white people. We see how oppressive it is in every way, shape, or form. If you are not a straight white man, here are many examples in every type of field that we see. So seeing that all at once lets you realize, like, you hear these things like, no, you have to make your way inside. And you see these constant examples, and now people are starting to see that there's absolutely no way that this could continue in the way that it's continuing.
Yeah, like, and it's just kind of like
if you want actual change, if you're cool with this, whatever, by all means, do whatever. Mm-hmm. But
yeah, like I just like, and I mean, what does that even look like? What does that even look like? How does that even start? What are we gonna do? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I really found myself
still have to be. There's like socialist movements that discuss about what it would be like after, but that's the thing. Like people think, like that's just the hardest. That's the one step, and that's not necessarily the hardest, but that's the first step that you have to go through. This shit is difficult to overturn all of that. That's why history has shown us. It takes revolution and shit to be overthrown, and it doesn't always come back the same way, and it takes a while. Like you got to be prepared to be like, listen, it's worth that I am not subjected to these things anymore. Mm-hmm. And that you could start to rebuild. Like the rebuilding process takes time, but it's in the hopes that you're doing it for future generations. That's the thing. Like we could do all this shit and we may not see the benefits in our lifetime of what we're doing. Mm-hmm. Like it might get worse before it gets better, but it'll be the kind of worse where it's all right. We got to figure shit out. And there's a lot of job loss or something, and it's bad, but it's like, all right, you're not getting fucking oppressed, or at least you took down the oppressors before, as you're moving towards a better future.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, and I mean,
it's just
I think that question is, are people really ready to be that uncomfortable? Are they ready to make those decisions? Like we talk about that shit, and I know. We kind of hinted at, like, I mean, we like in that topic that I want to talk about next week, so I'm not going to talk about it. But like, I know we were speaking a little bit just of the notion of, being uncomfortable, getting out from under these structures, getting out from under these institutions that implement and just continue to nurture racist tendencies, nurture racist policies and ideologies. Like, I mean, when do we wake up? When do we wake up and try to just take back what is just rightfully owed to humanity? It's not about people of color versus anybody. It's not, because it's not really that. Like, this is really white evil. And I always say it's like a lot of that should be just white evil, like against everybody. It's just these evil motherfuckers against everybody. And most of what everybody else wants is just humanity. We just want equivalent trances. We just want peace. We just want equality. We don't want nothing else. I don't want no reparations. I don't want no handouts. Trust me, as a black man, I can tell you that black people do not want handouts. I don't want nobody, nothing from
Nah,
nobody.
you got to come up off that reparations, just off principle
Yeah.
of this is shit I'm owed for
You
that
think
money.
you actually want them to like hand you something straight up, like,
It's
or
not
you?
about handing. It's about it's yours. It should be yours.
No,
That's the thing. It's owed
I
to you.
understand that. I understand that, like
So
that.
it's
You
not
know,
a
yeah,
handout because
yeah.
then anything that the government gives is a handout. I don't believe in handouts. That shit is owed. Reparations, motherfucker, that shit, you need to come up off that because
No, that's a fact.
my ancestors should have got that shit. So
Oh
that's
no,
what it's
yeah.
about. It's off the principle of that. So it's not a handout. You deserve that money.
Oh
Don't
no,
think
for
of it
sure.
as a handout. The
Oh no,
government
no, no.
needs to
I
give you that
look.
fucking money.
I understand that, but they will never call it reparations. That's why I call it a handout.
No,
Because
no, no. They
I'm
would.
being realistic, like, because they would never call it reparations.
They would never call it reparations. It would
Like,
be, I don't even, well, and like I said, unless we want reparations, that shit all gotta go. It all has to go before that even
you see,
comes.
and this is what I'm talking about. Me and you, we be speaking the same language. Like, even though we're saying two different things, we're saying the exact same thing in the sense that I feel like you're acknowledging the fact that we deserve reparations. I agree 100%. There's no questions about it. I'm saying that we ain't getting reparations essentially unless we put a gun to their heads. That's the only way we're getting reparations.
So that's all gotta go.
That's why I'm like, you know, I like realistically, like and the shit that they would give us would be the coronavirus relief deal, $1,200. It would be a bullshit handout. That's what I'm saying. Like, so that's why I'm just like, yo, I don't even want your fucking handout, bro, because it's just like I know what the handout that you would give me is just gonna make me want to put a gun to your head on some crazy shit. It would make me a revolutionary. I'd get hot blooded because like you're gonna disrespect me. You're gonna give me $1,200 when you owe me 1.23 billion trillion gazillion dollars for the economy of the country. What has made the United States the strongest country in the world and in history and in the strongest civilization known to man ever in recorded human existence has been pretty much piggybacked off by black people. They ain't no reparations. They can't reparate that. That's impossible.
It's revolution. That's what the fucking
Yeah,
reparation
like,
is. It's just
so that shit.
I honestly
that
think
shit
there's
kills
no
me.
feasible way in any way, shape, or form that politics would ever get to a point to decide reparations. Also, I think logistically trying to figure out reparations is really difficult.
Oh
really,
no, they could
really
never
difficult.
value it. And with all due respect, they like I can't let them give me reparations because I don't want them putting a value on what they think is like they can't put value on my work. Like,
yo, put the koopy.
Real talk. Like, yo, when I'm telling you, man, like, yo, that shit, yo. If
no, you got a point. I'm just saying, yo, that's real koopy shit.
That's real shit though.
Like, I agree though.
That's a fact. Like, how we letting them put value on this shit? Like, come on, son. And like and honestly, like, to our pre-pod conversation, a lot of what, because this is going to be our next week. Everybody listening, next week, tune in. It's going to be a lot of more of not the same stuff, but in regards to just these sentiments and these principles of just what's bestowed in like what I want to call just white patriarchal business, bro. Like, this is just a business structure because governments are just massive businesses that, you know, run societies. And, you know, businesses are just,
at least that's how it exists in America.
And unfortunately, yeah, in capitalism, like that's literally how it exists in America, unfortunately. But like when you look at it, like they're all racist at their core. Like how they choose to like distribute, how they disseminate things, how they want to give out bonuses, how they want to pay people, how they want to give back. Like all of that stuff is racist, bro. It's all racist. So to me, it's just kind of like, all right, even if they was gonna give me reparations, how is a white man gonna tell me the value of the shit that they could like? Why am I letting him give me the value? Like, why am I letting him tell me the value of what he deems he should be giving me? Okay, yo, you know what? We calculated this is what you deserve. Like, oh, like you? Why? Who said you make that decision? Give me everything you fucking got, bro. Like, what are you talking about? Like, that's my energy if it ever came to that, and that's why I'm just like, all right. Like, I know we could never talk real reparations because to me it's just like they. Like that's some like real who want war shit. It would not, that's like my blood. That gotta be my blood. That gotta be my blood because it's just, there's no other way around that. It's, you know, and I don't know, man. This is what I always said. I said it last week. I said, yo, I don't want to open my mouth because I'm going to come off as real treasonous. I'm either going to rub some people wrong or like some people is just going to be like, damn, Tenny are fucking radical. But like, yeah,
listen, it's like at this point, like you
start
to see.
Exactly.
Like to me, I just, I try to do the research to come to this conclusion as fast as I could, because like you start to piece things together and you're like, no, 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 like this, there's no way, like you don't realize how deep it is.
Mm-hmm.
And once you realize it to an extent, and you realize like all of these systems are interlinked with each other in a way that like it literally will not change until it all goes. And yes, it will be difficult. That's the thing. Like, that's just one step, and that step is really hard. But the step to rebuilding and reconstruction of a better society, you're literally making a better society. That's what people don't understand.
Exactly.
Like, it's not like true revolution is literally saying like, nah, this entire society is built wrong. We have to start over. The people are saying we've had enough, and the people in power are not going to give that shit up easy, and it's going to literally come to that.
Yeah. No,
or we go into a complete fascist regime, and then the only way it ends is another country winning a war against us, like World War II.
mm-hmm.
But I doubt that would happen, because we're the most advanced military on this earth by a considerable margin.
Mm-hmm.
So we were talking, when we were in the park, and I was saying, yo, I don't know, but like if
that shit is scary, bro.
So,
you actually, you honestly just put me in another mode of thought, bro. Like, because is this a part of a great master plan? Do you think?
I don't know. That's New World Order shit. No, I think it's just the constant, the constant subjugation to just, I think like I felt like it was always a stalemate, but now like the sides are being tipped more towards fascism. But I always thought it was like, at the very least, like we just have to maintain this level of society.
Mm-hmm.
Like, subjugation, like, they could have a little bit, just a little bit, keep it at the little bit.
Yeah.
And then like, all right, we could take more, give them just a tad more, just a little bit, when the people start to push. But now it's getting to a point where we're pushing, and now you have to push farther. And so it's going to go from placated to just straight up like, all right, now we're asserting ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole point is that, if you have a government that's on your, a government built for the people, by the people, you would come to that conclusion faster.
Mm-hmm.
One, this wouldn't be happening, or the first time it happened, you'd see massive reform. Mm-hmm. Look at the Christ Church, the Church Christ, was it Christ Church?
Which one?
In New Zealand.
Oh, with okay.
And like 12 people got shot or something. Boom, they implemented massive gun reform. They saw nothing.
With the terrorist attack against the mosque in New Zealand. Yeah,
right. And they saw nothing for like the remaining, I think that they said they had 0 gun deaths or something crazy. And it was like, wow, that's what happens when a government's like for the people, by the people, and care, are working to serve the people, and the people are holding them accountable.
Mm-hmm.
It's, the people hold them accountable, and that's exactly what happened. And a functioning government is able to get that done, that wants to do it. This government not only wants to do it, is too incompetent to do these things.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, exactly. And the United States, just like you said, on stark contrast, it's a government run by capitalism, infested with the NRA's donation money throughout both political campaigns, both political parties. Forget about it. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, we were never gonna get rid of guns. We can never get rid of guns. That's why when people get shot, people are getting massively killed by all these AR-15s and assault rifles of mass destruction. Like, I mean, like they just sit there. What are we supposed to do? Like our whole government is to just continue to take money from anywhere. Nobody really cares, and that's the problem with this shit. It just comes off as like, man, like I don't know. Like, and I know you said it sounds New World Order-ish. Like, and I hate to get into that bag, but it really comes off as it, because like, who would have thought like in 2020 we'd be similar in a situation where it's like, all right, we got Donald Trump as president, right? We got Republicans in party trying to control a situation where, or I feel like they're trying to just conjure up a situation where it's like, motherfucker, I'm the president, I'm not leaving, so what? And
it could come down to that.
And like you said, I mean, you back that with, and I got the strongest military force on the planet of Earth. Oh yeah, and we got cops. We like to kill everybody, and we don't care. You still can't do anything about us. Oh yeah, and we hate black people. Like, that really, like, you know what I'm saying? And you knock on wood, bro. Knock on anything solid. Like, you know what I'm saying? Rebuke for the religious people. You know what I'm saying? I don't, like, you know what I mean? Like, I would pray to God that that's not what is gonna happen. But 6 months ago, I told nobody I don't ever think I would see Times Square empty. Times Square has been empty for months, bro. Like, there's a lot of shit that we thought we would never see, and things are just happening, bro. So I just, You know what I mean? Like I just look around sometimes and I'm just like, man, people need to wash their eyes. You know, open like, bro, it's the same way. I'm sure, yo, and Hitler was rising to power. Motherfuckers was just, oh nah, no way. I mean, nah, there's no way that can happen.
Yup.
Motherfuckers need to watch, bro. I'm telling you right now because it's the perfect recipe for I just don't need to leave. Why would Trump leave? Think about it. Like I'm thinking about it from an arrogant person. If I was in power and I wanted to be a dick, and I had people that were willing to back me to do some shit like that, I would be. I would. Why not? That's how all villains do it. That's how all evil people do it. They be in power. They get a little too head like powerful, and they just like, yo, motherfucker, I'm not leaving. I don't know. I just think like this point.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't
I
know
don't know.
about if it was
I'll let you
built
get a
to
piece.
that.
What you
I
think?
was gonna say, like, I don't know if it's necessarily built towards that. It just seems like a very advantageous use of a situation
Yeah.
that, multiple parties are saying, hey, listen, we have this time now. Let's do what we can do. Let's get it all done now. Let's try to do what, those particular people have been trying to do, I don't know, forever, just constantly find ways to subjugate, black people.
Mm-hmm.
And so all those people are just seeing this time to be like, oh shit, let's get it done.
Yeah, like I
That's
mean, and
why
you know what it is? It's like the open. I think it's just the open disrespect. Like
it's just the
you know,
open.
it's
That's the difference. It's all
yeah,
everything that you know to be true, but can never have been confirmed. And so that's why all people you knew were racist were just looked at it as closeted deniability people, just people that were just in denial because you couldn't come up with actual proof. But now you have this motherfucker just literally saying like, yes, please shoot these people. So like things that you're like, wow, I never thought I'd hear a president of the United States say that shit.
like he's just coming out and saying, and it's like this is somebody elected by the Republican Party, one of the largest parties in the country that I live in, and tons, if not millions, if not almost billions of people back this man. I mean, so I'm living in a country where they don't like me. The average person that don't look like me does not really like me. They want this guy in power. You know what I'm saying? They have no problem with this Hispanic people south of the border or right there at the border being held in fucking internment camps like they did in
Yeah,
Germany. They
they're
don't, you know what
either
I'm saying? Like,
explicitly they're explicit. That's it. White people are either explicitly participating in white supremacy, passively, or actively against. Those are the only three stances. You can't waver and you can't say, well, I'm only checking people every other day.
yeah.
Nah, you as a white person got to be doing that work. Every time you see some shit, you got to say some shit. You can't pick and choose. Then you go to passive, which means you're okay with some examples of it. And that's not okay. You shouldn't be, you shouldn't be doing that if you're, say that you're on the right side of history.
Yeah, like, and I swear I give everybody a chance. I give everybody a motherfucking chance to just prove to me that you're not a dumbass, like, fucking emotionless, soulless human being. There is no reason on the planet Earth to put a human being in a cage, bro. Like, I just don't care. I don't care what country they're from. I don't care if they came here legally. They came here legally.
Explicit racism.
You just don't put them in the cage, bro. Like, I would never do it. Like, I don't even like putting my dog in the cage. I just don't like doing them. Like
explicit racism. But and other sadder news, unfortunately.
Yeah, man.
I think we should to
speak
about the good life,
my brother, bro.
The life of the good man. Rest in power, rest in peace, Mr. Chadwick Boseman, beloved man, beloved actor, beloved husband, friend. We just have to pay our respects to the man.
So sad story. I mean, Chadwick Boseman.
It hit me very hard because, of course, as we know, nobody was, keen to the fact that he was suffering from pancreatic cancer.
Yeah.
And was, diagnosed with, or he had stage 3 and got to stage 4. He was at stage 3 or stage 4 since 2016.
Mm-hmm.
And then unfortunately it progressed and he passed away and he was only 43. And other than his, relatives or people he, was in his circle, nobody was none the wiser to it. Mm-hmm. So you just have to think about the kind of person that would choose to, go out there and live their life in that powerful way or in that way and choose not to, be impacted or be judged by that.
Mhm. Yeah.
And we see him speak about people that were in similar situations than him, and he just was constantly an inspiration. And those kind of conversations he was having, hits different now, because you now know, wow, he was also in that situation, trying to be a positive life for other people and trying to help people in that. And now you realize why he was the way he was, because he was dealing with that, so you could feel true empathy and true, somebody very very kind and very courageous to do what he did,
Mhm.
and to give us so many, to be a great actor, to be a legend.
Mhm.
I always joke that Chadwick Boseman was gonna be the black dude to play all black dudes, and
Yeah.
not only that, would be he would play himself in his own biopic. Just
Mhm.
straight up, I felt like that would just be hilarious, because he would have played
He
every
was,
successful black man,
yeah, no,
and then he
Chadwick
would play
Boseman,
himself.
man. He was on the rise, man. Because like honestly, I feel like unfortunately, his untimely passing. First thing I did, you start to go through some of his movies, some of the movies you watch, at least with him in it, and like like you just see that like although he was in a lot, he wasn't in a lot, man. You know what I'm saying? Like he didn't get to live his life, and that's like
He was
scary.
in so many impactful movies
Yeah,
in a short amount of time. You knew, like, oh, he's about to give us like 20, 30 more.
exactly. You knew that one day, like you the way you look at like a Denzel, the way you look at like
Yeah.
a Samuel, L.
Sam
He kind of like the
was
very
there. He's gonna be
accomplished
right
actor.
there.
You knew he was going to be in that class, and I just think that with his untimely death, it's shocking. And I mean, just to piggyback off a lot of what you said, I mean, like I think if anything at all, like his passing is just a continuing reminder of mortality. It's a continuing reminder of mortality. It's a continuing reminder of randomness, the randomness that is life, the random generator that is this universe that we live in. You do not know. You literally are fine every single day. Like you think you're fine, you might not be fine. Yo, please get your checkups. I think I just want to start there for one. Get your checkups. I don't believe in the doctor often, but I need to tell everybody, please get your checkups. Not saying that was the case here. Not sure. This is something that he could have found out and just been battling. From Rip. I don't know when he found it, but I'm just saying Chadwick Boseman, and I think this speaks to his incredible strength and courageousness. I mean, the fact in 2016, nobody can tell. Like, I mean, I'm looking at IMDb. I mean, dude did Black Panther in 18. Nobody could tell that he was sick. Like, nobody could physically see it. Like, I had to look back and think, like, bro, did they CGI his body or something? Like the dude looked rock solid. Like he like that can show you. I think that scared me actually. That showed me one how strong he was, but I think it terrified me because it shows you how fragile human life is. Like that you could be sick and look like that. You know what I'm saying? And
That's the thing, and people don't understand, like, when it comes to discussing about like ableism and just saying certain things about sick people, there's types of sickness that you don't see,
mhm,
or people work hard so that you don't see them and you don't judge them based on that. So it's
yes,
important that you respect all of that, because you have no idea what anybody could
what
be
he was
going through
going
at
through.
any fucking point in time.
Mhm.
And that's one of these examples that you're like, holy shit, bro, what? You did not know he was going through that, and nothing about his life indicated that.
Mhm.
And so it was just, you see some people are very private. That's they're every fucking right.
Yeah, very
So
right too.
you see he lived a private ass life. You saw him everywhere, but you never really see what he was really, outside of like public appearances.
Mhm.
Like if he was going, like I know he did like a commencement speech at Howard University where he went.
He did
And
the
like,
an acceptance speech for Denzel. That shit was pretty good.
yeah, he did that.
Like,
He was speaking at, other than that, like we didn't know much about him. So he was just, he was on the low and he kept it quiet, other than like little stories here and there. But my man's, lived a very private life and
live a
chose
private life.
to go out in that way. And I gotta fucking respect that to the fullest extent of
I think I
saying
would
like,
want that too.
this is me. I don't, nobody needs to know this. I don't want to be judged on that.
I would
And
want everybody to remember me in the positive. Like I have the ultimate respect for how he went out because he's a legend. Like he's a legend off of what he did, but he's a legend on how he went out because he just like he wanted us to remember him as T'Challa. He don't want us to remember like he don't want people like the memes, the jokes, like talking about he was like crack, he was skinny. Like he didn't want that image of people to see him in the end. And I think I would be the same way. Like God forbid if I got sick. Like I think I would just live my life out. I realistically think I would do my best to obviously fight it. You know what I'm saying? But I'm
Yeah.
saying, like Chadwick, I would live my life out though. I'm not gonna sit here and just let it defeat me to the point where it's like, okay, like I'm not doing it, and like I if I'm taking photos and doing things and putting my face it like get putting my face out there so people could just be asking me and be like knowing that I'm sick and things like nah, oh no, oh yeah, we just going to get drunk at the bar, come through, or oh yeah, shit. I mean, if I know I'm like I know it's a terminal situation, like I'm yo, come chill. Like let me just kick back, relax. Oh yeah, nah, I'm just been fasting or whatever.
Yeah.
Like I would just be honest with myself that if I understand that this is how I'm going out, then I would allow it to go like that. But I would allow my friends to enjoy me as Tenny, enjoy me as Twin, enjoy me as all the fucking hilarious moments that we've had together. Like I don't want it to be, I'm sad that you're leaving for 12 months or whatever the like. You know, he said in 2016, I like in 2016, if he had told his family and friends, and then for the last 4 years of his life, I would hope and pray that his friends and family were just being there for him, making him smile, enjoying the moments that he wanted to
And
do.
that's what it looked like.
And that's what it looked like.
Looked
I'm
like,
pretty sure that's exactly what he wanted to do because all his famous friends just didn't know. So
yeah, and he chose not to tell them that.
that's the smart way. That's the way you want to do it. Just like
and not only that, just think about the fact that he moved the way that he did. You know, he's, tried to be the best person that he could be in the time that he had.
Mhm.
And like you said, like he went out and, maybe chose to separate himself and give us that. But I think it's one of the rare times that somebody got their flowers before they died. Like
Yeah.
we all love Chadwick, and everywhere he went in his time on Earth, when he became famous, people was always showing him love.
Yeah.
So like, like he knew people fucked with him.
Mhm.
So I think that's, I was so happy to know that, he knew that people loved him, or, that, what he did and what he wanted to give to the world, people accepted that and received that in a positive way. And he always spoke about, or every time I hear him speak about acting, or used to hear him speak about acting, I always just respected that. He
Yeah.
always was very passionate about it in that way. And he was a hell of an actor. So
Nah, he was a hell of an actor, man. Rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. I mean, I didn't watch too many of his movies, but like obviously Black Panther, 42, like was what
great.
to me, that's honestly what broke me into like, okay, like this dude is the truth. Like he can act his ass off. I knew from here.
Yo, I knew that was going to be T'Challa because I saw his disdain for the white man in that movie. And in order to play T'Challa, you just have to have a disdain for white people, like the real scowl, because Wakanda's just never been colonized. They're like, hell no, don't come in here, white man. So he just had that disgust in his eyes of 42. And I was like, nah, he gotta be Black Panther if they do some shit. And then he became Black Panther. And I was like, see, look, he's the perfect dude.
Yeah.
Came up with an accent and everything, and I was like, "Yo, bro, that was perfect."
Nah, facts, man. Honestly, man, rest in peace, though, man. Like honestly, at least now you get to just rest in peace, man. That shit is over with, man. If there's a better place, I hope it's better than here. And, man, like
thank you, but yes, thank you, Chadwick, for just giving us what you gave us.
Yeah, no, thank you for being
amazing. Yeah, for real, being inspiring, being who you were, just giving to others, and just also making us laugh too, because he got some of the funniest memes, and I got a few memes of him in my phone where he's just like, just looking like, bro, what are you doing?
What are you doing? Yeah, like he like honestly was just like he doesn't understand like the next generation of like just children actors and like black children actors and fucking black great phenomenal just adult actors, like they're all gonna just follow in his path and just want to be the next great black superhero, or be the next Jackie Robinson in a biopic, or what I'm saying, like just play those different roles, like I think he did a Thurgood Marshall movie. Or am I tweaking? Yeah, right. I think he did a
Yeah.
He did Thurgood Marshall. And I know he did the James Brown movie. So like
Get On Up was
like,
great,
bro, man. The dude, like just put so many seeds of just inspiration in the next generation. And that's all you can want, man. Like, you're gonna go out one anyway. You just want to hopefully just not be a blimp in time. You know what I mean? Realistically, I always say that.
Realistically.
Yeah, like unfortunately, the selfishness of human nature is just not to want to be a blimp in human time. And thankfully, he's been able to not only leave his imprint in time, but I mean, he changed his family's life forever. His family don't gotta worry, and
Yeah, no.
that's a
And
blessing.
it was so, yeah. And unfortunately, it's just, I don't want to speak too much of the negativity I saw regarding it, but, it's just important to just speak about Chadwick as a person and not as the roles that he played.
Oh yeah.
Because, I saw a lot of just negativity surrounding, like, just only, like, of course you could acknowledge him as Black Panther. I'm not saying that, but like people were just only speaking about that and not like Chadwick Boseman, the man.
Mm.
I feel like, certain figures of that status, like I feel like unfortunately begin to lose like a certain level of humanity.
Yeah, no.
You looked at it, some people, you see that with artists sometimes. So I didn't want to speak on that too much, but yeah, so it's, important to speak of Chadwick as the man. So
No, facts. I agree. And I think that's just in general. Like when people pass, although they're great for what they were affiliated with, you do want to speak to them. And, that's why I specifically said that. I ended that with, yo, hey, he changed his family's life. I think more than anything like anything that I can do in my life before I close my eyes, if I could make my family's life 100 times, 200 times, 300 times better and make sure that I touch their lives, that is all I care about. I don't care about nothing else. And that speaks to politics. Shit. I even see, I forgot who I seen tweet about it today, but somebody tweeted something along the lines of, bro, like I've realized how much like, I might love like New York City or some shit like that. I just want to be like alone or in isolation. I prefer my life in isolation. And I resonated with that. I was like, oh, nah, that's a fact. Like me, I'm one of those persons that, like although I love New York City and I love this and I love X, Y, and Z about life, like I just want to be in isolation with me and my families and my friends. I want to enjoy the world for what it is with those people in isolation for the most part. And like, yeah, we can touch in with civilization every now and then, but I don't need that every day anymore. I don't need all these engagements. I don't need all that shit. I don't need
just
all
cut the fat out,
yeah.
Trim the fat.
I just
realized like this,
I need that positivity from my family, my friends, and them just understanding that, that I did it all for them. And like as long as they accept it and they understand it and they appreciate it, my life is good. That's it. Yeah.
Is that it for us today?
Yeah, no, that's pretty much it. That is pretty much it. I didn't slip this in during the basketball segment, but I did want to say shout out. Well, not shout out, but rest in peace.
Rest in peace,
Thompson. Yes, sir.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? He was actually the head coach for the Georgetown Hoyas, man. He coached some of the greatest players ever. I think
the greats.
He did Patrick Ewing. I'm pretty sure he did what AI. Was it Mutombo too? Did he go to Georgetown or am I tweaking?
I think he did.
Or is it Hakeem Olajuwon? Sorry. Wait.
I don't remember actually.
I don't remember. It's one of those two guys. Somebody's going one of the followers. Somebody who watched the pod correct me in the podcast. You know what I'm saying?
That's shit.
But
all right,
he was one of the greatest of it, man. Rest in peace to John Thompson. First African American head coach to win a major collegiate championship. So just wanted to throw that in there, man. He was literally Black excellence, another Black icon. You know what I'm saying? It's been a tough week for Black loss. So I mean, Black kids, you got icons to look up to in Chadwick and John Thompson.
Yes. So a resounding thank you from both of us for tuning in today. Go in, check on people, wish your loved ones, just go out and be like, I love you. And hope you have a great week. And we will see y'all in the next one. This is episode 25 of the Touch the City podcast.